What's up? BigHerc916, positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. Man, it looks like it's going down in Los Angeles, California. It looks like the city downtown is under siege, as well as other parts where people are protesting. Now, California, one of the largest economies in the world, I believe seventh or eighth, um, has one of the largest homeless populations in the nation, one of the largest concentration of what's considered illegal immigrants, and ICE agents or federal employees looking to enforce deportation. Now, whether you agree with deportation or not, I look at this situation where if you come over to the country legally, then you went through the process, you did what you were supposed to do, and you're here contributing like everyone else. And I've known plenty of people who have come over from other countries and they've done the things that were required to become citizens of this country and support the American flag. When you have people who have taken advantage of a situation and come over and really have no plans of blending into society or supporting American values, and you look at it as an opportunity, then this is kind of what happens. And I look at this as a bigger play. This is a chess move. You were already dealing with the landfall with all the stuff coming out about the homeless budget, the billions of dollars that was allocated for the homeless to build tiny homes, and nothing happened. Then you had the Palisades fires. You had the Altadena fires, the Pasadena fires, right? Then you've had the rain and the mudslides and roads being closed down. California, it just seems like the state is being ran almost like a backroom Ponzi scheme, and nothing's getting done. The people in the beginning who basically put out aren't getting paid, or the people who are coming in at the back are getting screwed. Either way, it's just the situation is wild, man. And you think about taxation of resources and people who can't even go to the doctor because they can't afford medical, but you have people getting free medical. And these people weren't born here. I mean, and then people feeling like, well, these people need some place. But what about the people here? What about the people who are homeless, who are veterans, who have served for the country, and they can't even get medical? I know people that have went to the VA in LA and been burdened down with paperwork, and they can't even get a doctor's visit. And if you drive to certain parts of Los Angeles, I mean, like I said, I grew up in California, all over, and some of the landscapes and topography is so beautiful. The mountains, the ocean, the deserts, all these places. But then, like, you can have somebody living in $1.5 million, $2 million home, which in California is like your average if you want to talk about a really nice home. And you can drive down the street and see somebody taking a poo poo on the sidewalk. How's that real, man? How is that is a $2 million home now just considered barely middle class? Where are the people who, make 100,000, or even people make 90,000? Where are they at? How are they displaced? And then you talking about the taxation as far as the gas and the cost of living, the rent, you know, a basic 900 square foot apartment's going to run you about 3 grand, depending on what area, and that doesn't guarantee it's going to be in a safe area. How do you fix this? How do you turn around a state that's progressively gotten worse over the years but it has so much value and so many resources and so many wealthy people. You know, a lot of people live in a bubble, and if it doesn't touch them, they don't care. But what happens when that bubble bursts? What happens when one of your loved ones get touched, and then do you go to the far other side and go extreme? Or do you try to compromise because you've been saying this for so long, you don't want people to be upset about your new viewpoints? But how is this acceptable? I don't understand it, man. There's no other country you can just go into and start getting free medical and 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 you know, free phones and free uh you know, free money. I mean, what other country can you go in and you just get all these things without impacting the local people there? And my thing is, why not take care of your people here first? America first. That's my opinion. America first. I mean, it's mind boggling, man, to think like, you know, you have people who have come over and they have perfectly written signs protesting. Then you have people here protest. I'm like, what are you protesting about? What is your complaint? I mean, you have family members and people here that are in need of resources. So why are you upset about a situation that really has nothing to do with you? And I understand people got to make a living, but if you go to Japan, you go to South Korea, you go to Dubai, you go to any of these countries, you have to go through a process. You can't just go in there. It doesn't work like that. So I don't understand why people think it works like that here. And why, if you come here, why would I go to Dubai and raise an American flag when if I'm trying to become a Dubai citizen, I need to support that country? Why aren't you supporting America? Why aren't you behind the foundational values of what it takes to live here? And then the people here, I know people here who talk shit and complain, but well, then if you don't like it, why don't you leave? Go make a life somewhere else where you feel that there's more opportunities. Or if you're here, try to make a change. See, the thing is, a lot of people complain, but none of them want to work together. Nobody wants to sit at the table. You know, you have the right to protest here, right? Without violence. And obviously, these people are burning down stuff. It's not a peaceful protest. It's almost like the Antifa thing all over again. You know, like these guys, some of them are paid provocateurs, and then you get people mixed in there, civilians who think by covering up their face they can't be identified. All you guys are going down. You guys, this is just a way to lock a lot of you guys up and get you off the way because you showed your ass. I mean, if you think that they were able to identify all these people who some of them didn't even show up to the January 6th. What are you guys doing? I've seen guys throwing rocks at the police cars, just all kind of crazy stuff. Do you think that that is normal, that you can get away with that? Really throwing a rock at a law enforcement vehicle? How crazy is that? How crazy is that, man? Like I said, you go to the Philippines and do that, you go to anywhere else, man, they're going to beat the crap out of you. You threw a rock at their car? Come on, man. I mean, what does that make sense? I mean, I understand if you don't agree with something, then cool, voice your discrepancies. You have a right to do that under the Bill of Rights. But what's going on right now, I feel is another distraction. And it's like I said, it was a chess move because they've moved all these different people over here who've come over through the border crossing to different places to almost like sales to where they hey, they activate them and it disrupts a whole city, a city's economy, the ability to move to and from work. See, not only does the riots affect as far as damaging the city, but it also affects people who have nothing to do with it trying to get from point A to point B. There's a lot of people who are innocent victims in this by just their jobs are shut down. This, the city's under siege. They have, they might have curfews now. You got National Guard coming in, and it turns into a whole nother animal. And the politicians who get involved in this, you see them, and it's like, why would they promote destroying the city when they're paid by the city? The same thing that happened during those other riots, which oh boy, I'm not going to mention his name, when they were looting and stealing, they're like, get your reparations. How is that right, man? What is the big play? And people who just go, they're like robots. And then they wake up in a jail cell with all these charges and wonder what did they do, and they're crying. That's basically insurrection and rebellion right there. You're uh, a sworn in officer or a person of the city, a appointed official, and you're talking about you're gonna basically defy government mandates as far as enforcing a policy. I don't see how you're going to get your point across by burning cars, looting buildings, destroying property, and to think there's no consequence to that. And that's why California has totally fallen into the state of decline it's in. And as beautiful as it is, there's so many places you can go and maybe you don't see this, so you feel like, oh man, it's not affecting me, I don't even want to talk about it. And I'm only talking about it because it's social media gossip. I'm in Arizona. I mean, out here they don't play that. There's places here too, they have the crime, but I don't live in those places, I don't frequent them. And my thing is, uh certain vibrations, certain frequencies, no matter how strong your vibration is, you can't affect the mentality of these people. You can't even have a conversation because they think that's normalized, and that's fine. I mean, we have the right to have different opinions and live together and enjoy each other's space. Just don't put your hands on somebody and violate their privacy. That's fine. As soon as you start trying to impose, or you want to start looting and doing something to somebody else's property, they have a right to defend themselves. But this right here is crazy, man. And it's LA under siege. And you talk about still trying to deal with the post Palisades and the resources of the city, the homelessness. I mean, they were supposed to have tiny homes for all these people, or a designated area or programs. I mean, I feel like this is just a way to take your attention off of that to focus on something else. And if you think it's a greater plan, let me know. Leave an opinion. And how do you feel about the whole ICE and immigration thing? Like I said, I know people who are veterans and they can't get the basic resources. And I'm for all these people who served in the military, and taking all the bias out of it. I know people who are still trying to get their papers to stay here, and they've done everything right. They've had to go back to their country. They've had to wait. They've done everything right. I mean, so how does this work? How does this benefit the country and its values, and the state of California and its values, if it has any values left? Share your opinion, man. Let me know what you guys think about this, and how do you feel if you live in California and you see this stuff going on around you? How do you feel if you have loved ones who are dealing with financial situations, medical situations, and they can't get the benefits of people who have come over here and not went through the proper process, and yet they're able to get the benefits? How does that make you feel, man? Leave a comment, share the channel. BigHerc916. To pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster signed. Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds. Never settle for average. Go to BigHerc916.com and pick you up a hat.